Something. Yes.
Have about 1 minute to go. Did you succeed?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bukola Maucharo, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Teaching by Design session of the LSA. The objective of this session, of this panel, is to explore the intersection of education and design thinking principles. The basic thing we want to achieve is to understand how we can share best practice that make us to see teaching as a process that we start by thinking of the endpoints in mind. We will be delving into innovative approaches that create dynamic and engaging learning environments, fostering a discourse on effective student-centered pedagogy, and providing valuable insights for serving diverse communities. Basically, we're going to be sharing best practices of what worked for us in our classrooms, what lessons we learned by engaging in student-centered pedagogy, what innovations we brought into the classroom, and what other things do we think other educators should know about what we are doing. It is a research-based session and panel. However, it is also research that puts us on a knowledge-sharing platform where we share best practices. So, and on this panel, we have 5 presenters, but presently, I think we have 3 people. Is anybody online? Okay. Okay, an attendee is online. In this room, we have Miriam Akonde. Please let's jam our hands together for her. Miriam Akonde is a high school teacher. She's going to be delivering her presentation titled Enhancing Economics Education Through Project-Based Learning, a Pathway to 21st Century Skills Development. The second paper presenter happens to be Professor Sunday Adebisi and Ella Catherine Idolo. I will also be supporting in that paper. I am privileged to be supporting in that paper. Barriers and Enablers of Entrepreneurial Teaching in Higher Education. The third presenter, which is also in the room, you know, I said I was going to sit here until I lose the chair. Now I'm losing the chair because you're coming here to sit. So the third presenter, who is going to be sharing his research, his practice on innovation for transforming the economy for future-ready learners in the University of Lagos. No, I don't think she's here. I think you are the fifth, right?
No, the
Ecumenical future. Okay, is that the innovations for transforming?
for
Page 75.
Innovation for transforming the economy.
For future ready. That's your paper, right? Yes. Oh, that was what I was reading before. Sorry about that. Okay, you're the one with Dr. Adeosu.
Yes.
Oh, I get it now. That's why I saw her name, so I was like, where is she? So his paper will be Innovations for Transforming the Economy for Future-Ready Learners in the University of Lagos by Motunrayo Ajoke Adeosun and Alabi Olushola. Please come up to the table. So if you take a look at the title of our session, it says Teaching by Design, Innovations in Pedagogy. I consider myself as a teacher, and any space I stand to speak, I consider it as a space for learning. So we're going to do this differently because our session is focused on innovation. So they are going to present one by one, but then we're going to have reflection sessions for each each of their sessions. After she presents, we have a reflection session. I'll give you a sticky note. Whatever reflections you have, you put it down, we bring it here. At the end, we talk about it. Then we ask questions. And then whatever comes up after then. Do we all agree here on it? All right, thank you. So the first speaker is are you ready with her slides? Yes. Thank you. The first person to present is Miriam Akonde. She's going to present in her paper, Enhancing Economic Education to Project-Based Learning. Ms. Shetunde, can you be our timekeeper? Yes. All right. We're giving 10 minutes for each presenter before we go into our reflection. 10 minutes, then we use 2 minutes for reflection before we go back, before they finish. You know how we did it in the first session. So I can help to give out the papers. Thank you very much. Mr. Akonde, you have the floor. Good afternoon. Sorry, wait. We've assigned each color to each person. We have a reason for doing that. That was what worked for us in the morning. So I'm going to assign pink to you. So thank you. Your own feedback comes in pink. Thank you. Yes, your reflection. So go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, Dr. Amao. Good afternoon, my fellow presenters, and good afternoon to everybody in the room. I am Mariam Renkete Akonde. I'm a classroom teacher, a high school teacher, precisely. And yes, I'll be discussing. I'm a learner. I'm open to learning. Learning is one of the things I enjoyed so much. So my work might not be perfect, but they're all about my experience in the classroom over the years. And I teach economics, and you, for those of us that take economics in the O level, you will know that yes, it's a one subject that presently students really wants to run away from it. And because it is of 3 categories, we have the theory, we have the mathematics, and we have the statistics, and also the graphical representation of the subject. And one thing that actually bothered me so much is because that for every teacher to know what to teach, everybody here know what they want to discuss about, but only some of us know how to teach what we want to discuss. And few know who to teach in the sense that who are these learners in our classroom? Do you really know who you are dealing with in the classroom? As young as they are, they have different needs and backgrounds, diversity. And the world we are today, how do we ensure that this learner fits into the world we have today? And we are going through the evolving landscape of education, to the challenges, and to the project-based learning as one of the student-centered approach for teaching. Now, pathway to make economics interesting in the classroom. And one thing is that I am responsible for every child in my classroom. I am responsible for them. And the way they feel at the end of the classroom is what is my concern. And one thing I always tell myself is that every child I have an encounter with should not be broken because of me. Rather, should be active in learning and see learning as a something to engage in. My classroom is a safe space for learning. And over the years now, I've thinking about how do I teach this economics to be interesting? And one thing that struck me is 3 years ago is to ensure that these children goes with hands-on learning, something they can do with their hands, that they will be actively involved and they will be happy while learning. And you will see that in the world we have today, every child wants to, there's something they like doing. Can somebody tell me what they like doing? Reading? Pressing phone, God bless you. Games. And I thought about it. Why not just gamify my lessons? Why not make it more interesting? I've attended an interview that is basically gamified. So why can't I do that to some of my lessons and even to my assessments? And when they try on so many things, then we can gamify it. And you see that one of the challenges we have in our curriculum in Nigeria is that our curriculum does not match with the skills that they see outside. It's different. So, and I keep thinking, I don't want the same route of learning in the classroom I did a few years ago during undergraduate. I don't want my learners in the high school to have the same teaching methodology. So how do I make it interesting? And I thought about project-based learning. And one thing about project-based learning is not just, it's one of the center teaching classroom, but it leads to critical thinking. It leads to collaboration, communication speaking. And you will see the classroom. The first classroom is the way my brother taught when he was in NYSC. And you see how the classroom setting is. The teacher is the author of the learning. But now when we move from that traditional learning to the present learning, students take charge of the classroom. I just facilitate, I guide them. They discover, they explore in the classroom, and it makes it interesting. And so when I brought about project-based learning, project-based learning, it's an approach or a student-centered approach which student tries on hands-on learning. And you're thinking, how did they do that in economics? We have so diverse topics. And what we do is, in my own classroom, is that I look at those topics together and I picked, if it is going to be production, it's going to be cost of production, revenue, and profit. You see, those topics are together. Then we'll think of a project to do. We'll come together, we discuss it, and we group ourselves. What project are we going to do? This group A, what project do you want to do? But sometimes I name them gladiators, sometimes I name them indomitables. What project do we want to do? Next slide. And we collaborated with the science department. They made hand wash and the food and nutrition department. So we designed, my learners designed those things you see. We branded it, we packaged it. And when they did that, we exhibited it. It was really, really tasking, but yes, they exhibited it, they sold it, they write out in their Excel sheets the costs, what they generated, the revenue, and the profits. And one thing you will see that when it comes to math, it is always tricky for them, but they can count money very well. So that way, when he wants to do, they'll tell you, Mr. Cody, oh, how can I do 2p? Q quantity demanded equals to 2p plus 20. No. But you can count money now. You can count 20,000, right? No problem. We'll do that. So with that, they generated their cost. From the cost, they are counting the money. And I have a child. I don't want to mention the name. When it comes to math, this is what she'll do. But when I said, Bolu, how much do you want to generate today? You will see calculating 1 million, 10 million. I don't want to do that. Okay, really? So that's the way they counted the money. We go through it. And they analyze the cost. Once they do that, they come to class to give us discussion, their experiences, the challenges they go through as business. And also they relate it to a small local business in your community. How did this person grow the business? To see it, what you're saying it today. How did the person pay employees? You know, the money you generated is not for you. It's not your money. You are going to pay tax. You are going to pay a worker. So we draw out it. They come into the class to analyze it. And yet it is tasking. It's quite some of the activities we've done in the school. And most time we always relate all this work to SDG. Which SDG goals are we solving? We made this using tires from their parent cars. I told them, bring it to the school. We washed it. We painted. Even one of my trousers went with it because paint actually damaged it. And we made this. We used bits to do this. And so when we were presenting in the classroom, while we're talking about, okay, let's take pictures with these goals we've done. SDG goals we related it with. See, we also made address shirts. Business projects that, oh, this is what we do. And they came to class to analyze the commodity sold, how they've done it. And it was really, really interesting. Now, what are the challenges we used to go through? And most times as a teacher in the classroom, like I said, I love learning so much. And that's one thing I do. So most times, yes, not all teachers want to go for the training, project-based learning, or any other teaching methodology. And the cost is always there. Because the time constraint today, we come to schools on Saturdays. In fact, my Saturdays are always sacrificed for all this thing because it's time consuming. The 40 minutes cannot do this thing. So we come to school on Saturdays. The resources to spend is there. It is quite huge for the project. And the parents will say, oh, Mr. Cody, what are we doing? Should we be saying this amount for the particular? Yes. will come together to raise this money is quite challenging, and also these resources and the technology to use. But at the end of the day, what are the solutions to all these challenges that we can go through? And I see that the way we collaborated with the science teacher, because the science teacher there was open to learning. If you have more teachers that can be open to learning, we collaborated together. We take it to the world today and make learning fun, engaging, active. Academic performance increases because they are the ones that provide, that explore the classroom, so they know what to and how to navigate. It's not just about agreeing with based on, like somebody said in the last term session, they are autonomy. They have the autonomy of the learning. And yes, with the interest, we align with the curriculum that when they graduate from O level, the skills they have can match with what is required in the world. It's not just about, oh, this is what we are taught, but they have the skills, communication skills, being creative, presentation skills, problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, and it will match with what is required for the creative world. And also technology can also be there. As how many teachers have embraced technology? I'm a volunteer teacher. I go to public schools to also encourage that children in that classroom, they are not also left out, because I am a high school teacher. And one thing I will leave you with you today is that for every child, they are at the mercy of their handlers, and you are the one handling them. So I will beseech you to ensure that no child is broken because of it. Every child learn, and the classroom is safe for them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was really inspiring. Thank you for showing us the way to project-based teaching. So it's time for reflection. Did I give you? It's time for reflection. What did you connect with most? What was the most surprising thing she said? How is it going to affect your practice? You're supposed to be reflective too. She didn't leave you out of the reflection. That was a session on enhancing economics education through project-based learning. And I like the fact that she said no child should be broken because you are in the class. The project-based learning is an innovative pedagogy that tries to connect classroom experience to real life scenarios, and it gets the students' hands working. 1 minute for reflection. You can talk collect it now. So you stick it here. Stick it here because we're going to use it later. Go around, collect it, and stick. No. Yeah. All right. The next presenter. How does one introduce himself for a presentation? I'm the next presenter. The next presenter is Sunday Adebisi Bukola Mao and Ella Kefrini Dolo, and we will be presenting a topic on the barriers on and enablers of entrepreneurial teaching in higher education. Please clap for me.
Go on, don't stop.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bukola Amao Taiwo, and I'm going to be presenting alongside Ketrin Idolo. I have 5 minutes. She has 5 minutes. Present our topic: barriers and enablers of entrepreneurial teaching in higher education. We're sharing insights from the Mindset Change for Academic Development in Entrepreneurship program. It's an initiative of the University of Lagos Entrepreneurship and Skills Development Center. And this initiative entails having to develop the capacity of faculty members lecturers, and people inside the university community and outside the university community on developing entrepreneurial skills for entrepreneurial teaching. And we've been doing this for some time. The reason why we do this is because over time, the Nigerian government has realized that entrepreneurship education is a key driver if our youth unemployment crisis will be put to bay. So in 2007, entrepreneurship education became a compulsory course in Nigerian universities. And two things came up then. The first is that every student of the university must take entrepreneurship education as a course. The second is that we have an entrepreneurship center in every university, and their work is to ensure that every lecturer is entrepreneurial. But there's a problem. As of today, there's a deficit in the number of student entrepreneurs the university is churning out. As a matter of fact, my research, which is my PhD, found out that it is not that our students do not want to be entrepreneurial. They do like to be entrepreneurial and are actually entrepreneurial. However, at the slightest opportunity, when they find a vacancy for a white-collar job, they are easy to drop their passion, meaning that their entrepreneurship skills are not being sustained. However, and go back to the last slide. And also, during the PhD, I realized that teaching quality is a strong indicator that decides whether students in the university will be entrepreneurial or not. What that means in layman language is that the extent to which our students will be entrepreneurial is highly dependent on how knowledgeable or how entrepreneurial our lecturers and faculty members are. However, despite the fact that teachers have the strong capacity to help students to be entrepreneurial, real-time entrepreneurs are not made only in the classroom. It requires centers for creation. It requires identifying opportunities beyond the four walls of the classroom. It requires an integrated curriculum that infuses innovation and creativity at every step, and it also requires preparing students to become entrepreneurs. I use these two pictures to depict the fact that skills development is quite different from entrepreneurship, and my partner is going to shed more light on that. The next slide, please. I'll continue. Voila. We are on the case. She's going to share stories of how the University of Lagos engaged with other universities and the lecturers in our university, lecturers from our universities and lecturers from other universities, in order to develop a university-based ecosystem. The goal by design is that our students, while graduating, should be creators of innovation, should be creators of value for themselves, and should be able to create jobs for themselves and others. Thank you. She'll be taking over from that.
Okay. In line with what you said, the focus of the Entrepreneurship Center, the Development Center, is centered on bringing out creativity, innovation, and business-minded focus among our students in the university. But how can we be able to achieve that if we, the teachers, do not understand what entrepreneurship is all about? And entrepreneurship is not about skill development, making bread, making soap. No, it's about teaching a student how to start a business and manage that business into a growing business that can even spread out of the country into other places. That is what entrepreneurship is about. But we notice in the universities, most university focuses on what? Just making bread, teaching students skill acquisition. And by the time they graduate with their certificate, it becomes useless because they cannot use it. So we are giving a mindset change and giving people and students and even the teachers, the lecturers, an idea that no, entrepreneurship is not about skill development, but having a mindset change towards creativity, innovation, and being able to teach these students to be able to start a business of their own at the time they graduate, rather than looking for a white-collar job. Now, this is a case study we had. It's called Mindset Change for Academic Development in Entrepreneurship.
We had it in Backup University and also Elisha, but Elisha is the case study. Now, for us to be able to do this, there were a group of lecturers, a group of people, let me use the word people, experts from University of Elisha. Elisha University is a new university, it's not even up to 5 years old. They came, they wanted to set up an entrepreneurship center. So they need to understand the way to go about it. How do they set it? How do they run? And how do they teach their students about entrepreneurship? So they came for the program. They were accountants from non-academic and also academic. These were not just lower level lecturers. These were people from the high cadre in the university. We had non-academic and also administrative staff, academic staff among them. So we put them through a lot of training, classroom sessions for 5 days. And the first thing we needed to do was to first teach them about everything about entrepreneurship, how to develop curriculum that is centered towards understanding entrepreneurship, how to teach the students, how to even understand the topic entrepreneurship and what entrepreneurship is all about. We did that. So in the process of training them, we got to this stage where they had to develop, because we had to tell them, okay, before you can teach the students, you too must also learn like a student. So they were put into classroom sections and they developed this section, which is called design thinking. And design thinking has 9 components. For you to be able to start a business as a person, you must be able to do this. You must have empathy. You must work with teams, because as an entrepreneur, sometimes you may not start alone. You must start with people. You must have ideas. And that was what we put them through. And those, please go back. Those sticky notes on the board were informations of problems and solutions they were able to develop or identify in their own university. They identify problems and they also identify the solutions in the problem. Move on, please. Now, one of the things we do in entrepreneurship, we must have empathy sections. You must be able to understand the emotions of people. If you are going to be an entrepreneur, you don't understand the people, you will not be able to do anything. Move on, please. Then this is a classroom work where we engage the staff, I'm also among them, on team ideation, having to develop ideas on what your problem is in your university and how to provide solution. And yes, please move on. Then from this stage, they brought a solution. One of them, the one on the right side, they had the problem of securing their environment from trespassers, this cattle headmen coming in and others. So what do they need to do? They need to paint the area up and also secure the place. So that was one of the prototype things they brought in, an idea that, oh, if we secure their university, people will not be able to encroach into the university. Move on, please. Then this is teamwork, because you cannot, you alone, if you can't work in an island, you must be able to collaborate. And how do you collaborate? Through teamwork. Please move on. Then we also made them to develop a business model canvas. We've identified the problem. What are the solutions? And there are 9 components of the business model canvas. You need to understand the key resources. You need to understand your customer. You need to understand the financial statement. If you are going to solve that security problem or fencing your institution, you need to develop this business model canvas. Please move on. Now, at the end of the 5 days competition, they all made a presentation, that's called pitching competition, where they tell us the problem they have in their institution, what they have developed, the solution they've developed, the cost of also solving the problem in the institution was what they did. And this is I was also there among them. Please move on. So this, at the end of the competition, they were all issued certificates, and the certificate is recognized there. Now, what they got from this program was to go back to their institution and develop their entrepreneurship center, focus it more on creativity and innovation rather than just classroom teaching and skill development program. Move on, please. Now, what are the enablers? You must have a conducive entrepreneurship center, and that was the main reason why they came here. Power affects everything. Once there's no power, you can't operate. Internet connectivity is also important. If you cannot connect, you cannot do anything. Then you must have experts. When they came to UNILAG, they came to meet what? The experts be able to explain things to them. Then good networking is important. We made friends, and up to now, we are still making friends and relating with them. The barriers, once there's insufficient resources, you're trapped. The institution can't do anything, even if you have the ideas. Poor infrastructures and environment can have effect. Qualified personnel shortage, if you don't have the staff, the experts. In entrepreneurship, what I've noticed that there are very few lecturers or experts in entrepreneurship. And that's why you're also encouraging people from all disciplines, multidisciplinary, come into entrepreneurship. And that's one of the programs that's being held in Unilag. Now we just have 6 programs approved by the Senate for master's program in entrepreneurship development and also PhD program in entrepreneurship development. And it has nothing to do with entrepreneurs of this admin. From all disciplines, you can apply for it and you get it. And when you get that, you'll be able to have the training to be able to set up even business of your own while working in an institution. Systematic and motivational issues are also important. Most times we are always downcast, we are sad, we are not happy, but we need to motivate. Move on, please. Then we have everything. Now, how do we teach entrepreneurial innovative? Increase diversity, funding, invest in infrastructure and technology, enhance training and professional development, foster industry and community partnerships, and develop incentive programs for students and educators. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Idolo. I'm thanking myself too. And Dr. Bukola for that beautiful presentation. All right, you have a sticky note with you. Put down your reflection. What questions do I ask? What resonated with you most? Whatever came to you, whatever thing you like to say. Please, can you say topic? Hello? So we just get our practice in supporting entrepreneurial teaching in a multidisciplinary way by using the design thinking methodology. So how does that resonate with you?
Let me.
In what way can this practice
to find out
be extended to other
where my own
universities? And what is missing? What do you think is missing? You can share it with us. We have 1 minute of silence to reflect. Thank you so much. So the green one goes to $1. The green sticky note is for $1. While we prepare for the third presentation. The third presenter for this teaching by design session is Motunrayo Ajoke Adeoshu and Alabi Olushola. They will be, please, can you put their slides up? They will be sharing their research on innovations for transforming the economy for future-ready learners in the University of Lagos. Let's jam our hands together for you. You can pick out another column for them. Another column. Don't forget reading.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome everybody to today's meeting. My name is Alabi Olushola Olanyika, a PhD student, University of Lagos, Department of Adult Education. In fact, I specialize in community development. Praise the Lord. This morning, this afternoon, we'll be looking at this. I'm sorry, please. I'm a pastor. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
This afternoon, we'll be looking at this topic. Innovations. Please go back. Innovations for transforming the economy for future-ready learners in the University of Lagos. I'm going to say, background to stop, please. Background to the topic. Entrepreneurial skills involve the ability to exploit ideas, create enterprise, and contribute to personal, social, and developmental gains. According to Eastridge and Peters, 2002, these skills involve creating tangible things through dedication of time and effort. Can you go on, please? Entrepreneurial skills are pivotal in transforming economy into knowledge-based economy, where knowledge is a key driver of growth. A question is being asked. Students of nowadays, what are the major things they love doing? Pressing phones. And even when they are pressing these phones, they are not looking for things that are educational. They are looking for things, you understand, that is not so important. You see them listen to music, go to sites that will not edify them at all. So the entrepreneurial skills we are talking of is that for our society to be transformed, we need what? A knowledge-based what? Economy, whereby the students gather together, the young learners gather together to use their life to cultivate knowledge, impartations that will do what? That will improve their life and destiny. Such economies depend on technology and information, fostering sustainable economic activities. Creative thinking is essential in this economy for solving what? Societal problems. One of the things that can accelerate entrepreneurial skills is our idea of allowing these young learners to do what? To build their creative capability and what? And capacity. When they take time to meditate, somebody said, most of the time when you meditate on things, when you think of things, there is a lot you can do in creating things. Now, somebody said the greatest place in life has to do with the thoughts. When you maximize the thoughts, there is no way there will be no what? Innovation. Can you go on, please? Knowledge-based economy creates what? New job opportunities and require a skilled workforce to handle what? Advanced technologies. Individuals with entrepreneurial skills are more likely to secure employment in high-tech industries, leading to increased investment in workforce development. Now, for those to have a knowledge-based economy, somebody said readers are what? Readers are what? Are what? Are leaders. But somebody was saying something about Africa. It's so derogatory that if you want to hide anything from what? From an African man, from a Nigeria, put it in the books. We don't read. And that is why so many times we are kwashiorkor, sorry to use the word, when it gets to knowledge. A lot of us, we can spend time with African magic, spend time with most of our powerful women here. You can spend 9 hours doing your hair. Am I right?
No,
Yes. Doctor, am I right?
Not nowadays again.
No, okay.
We wear wig now.
Okay, you are born again. Thank you. Nigeria, yeah.
This is
At
not
the
what
end of the day, okay, let's just make a light of it. Man, I don't mean to embarrass you. What I'm trying to say is that time you use on your hair, if you spend that time in sitting down, excogitating, meditating, transforming, and working on your knowledge of things, it will improve. Please, can we clap for our women? They are wonderful people. They are wonderful people. Second problem. Nigeria faces significant challenges with huge unemployment, which has been rising steadily. There was a time I was watching the telly, and there was this young man just sat down and started thinking of bringing forth cars, engines. Young boy, you understand? That's the way. Now, one thing about this skill is that it will help us, you understand, to brace our mind up, you understand, to be a blessing, you understand. The National Bureau of Statistics reported a substantial increase in unemployed Nigerians within a few months, highlighting the urgent need for what? Intervention. Please, can we move on? Can we move on, please? Can we move on? Can we move on? The go back this purpose of study. The purpose of the study is to examine innovations for transforming the economy for future resident learners in the University of Lagos, for research questions and for research hypotheses. Please, I'm going. Methodology. Descriptive statistical research was used to examine the data using mean and standard deviation to reply the research questions, while the hypotheses were verified using test pair test. The sample of 100 students was selected from final year students from 2 vocational technical institutions in Lagos, Nigeria. The institutions that are used are Federal College of Education Technical, FOCA, and Yaba College of Technology, Lagos. The students are studying vocational and technical courses during the 2018-2019 academic session. These final year students were selected because they are already at the verge of going into the labor market. Conclusion: knowledge administration and management are closely linked to skills development, problem-solving abilities, discipline, motivation, and self-confidence, especially in the knowledge economy. Attaining a high level of education positively influences the likelihood of becoming involved in wealth creation. However, inadequate resource utilization in the education setting has hindered the full development of the productive entrepreneurial culture among youth. Various stakeholders, including academic and training institutions, need to structure the entrepreneurship programs and focus on partnership to equip students with the necessary skills for wealth creation in this knowledge economy. Let me say this before I round up. I want to celebrate, man, the first speaker, man. I want to celebrate you. I wish most of the teachers we have can be passionate about what they are doing. A lot of them, they are focused on money. There is no passion. Man, you will agree with me, moderator man, you will agree with me for a teacher to go out staging a project-based for such a dynamic perseverance, for such, it takes knowledge, it takes passion, it takes charisma, it takes a big place, and we celebrate that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Please let down my hands together for him. That was great. Thank you for reminding us on the need to ensure that we make use of the resources we have in achieving our goals. I keep reiterating it that resources are always around us. Before we begin to ask for more resources as teachers, as educators, it's important to be innovative and creative about the resources we already have with us. That was about the knowledge-based economy. So it's time for reflection. It's using this color is orange, while the next speaker, the next presenter, we have 1 minute to reflect on it and give out our thoughts. Somebody needs a speaker here. Please give her one. The color is orange. As teachers, we have the power to change every nation where we find ourselves, but we have to be innovative. If that transformation will take place, we have to be innovative and ensure that we connect truly with our students. I'd like to know if Mapikuyomi Johnson Adewale is in the room. Mapikuyomi Johnson Adewale. All right. Thank you.
Online.
So, is it online? Somebody online? Yes. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I'd like to know if, okay, while we wait for them, at our last session, how long will that take? Will you be up 5 minutes? What's still time? To be up 5 minutes, right? So I can drive on. Dr. Balkis will be presenting next, but can you present without, or we should wait for her? Yeah, okay. But then, Okay, let me take this activity we have before it's time. Who can remind me who had the presenter that had this pink sticky note? What's her name? Miss Akonde. Please let's clap for her. So these are our reflections on Mrs. Akonde's presentation.
Project-based learning aims at enhancing practical learning among students. Is this system or learning also producible among other teachers in your institution?
Okay, thank you. That's the bad question. So
Project-based observation leads to critical thinking. Solutions, well, I don't get, maybe collaboration and all that, so,
you said there's one with pencil.
yeah.
You said I think I should help out with that so that we'll get everybody's fascinating presentation. No child should be neglected or broken. Thank you. Please let's clap for him. So they're still on it. So can we take one more while they shoot? We have, now who's gonna remind me the name of? So and he's gonna volunteer. No. Okay. This is Dr. Yetunde.
So how important is learning how to assess finance in UNILAG teaching? It feels this is a question, but two questions.
Okay.
Two in one.
How important is learning how to access finance in UNILAG? In UNILAG, we'll get there. Maybe if the person can explain.
Then the last one is there is a need for knowledge-based economy. Readers are leaders. Knowledge acquisition and management are closely linked to problem solving.
Yes, correct. Let's jam our hands together for this. Okay, so she can present. Yeah, I'd like someone to take the next set of sticky notes. I'll be inviting Dr. Balkis to come and take her session. But sorry, we're unable to still project, so we just have to move on. Dr. Balkis will be presenting her research on utilization of internet resources for research among postgraduate students in the universities of Nigeria. Can we jam our hands together for her? So what color of sticky notes are we giving Dr. Balkis? Green. Okay. Your green sticky notes are coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Afternoon. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
No position. I'm not going.
Good afternoon, once again. My name is Bikis Mokulola Oladunu Mohammed from Faculty of Education, Department of Technology and Vocational Education, Business Education course. I'm here to present the title of my paper is Utilization of Internet Resources for Research Among Postgraduate Students in Universities of Nigeria. The digital era has transformed education, shifting towards online and average learning model. Business education encompasses subjects like finance, marketing, management, and prepares students for diverse business careers. The internet, a global network facilitating communication and data exchange, has become crucial for various human endeavors, including education and research. For postgraduate business students, it offers vast opportunities to enhance their research capabilities, breaking geographical barriers in knowledge acquisition. However, mere availability of internet resources is insufficient. Accessibility and utilization are key. Accessibility refers to the ease of locating and using these resources, while utilization involves their active usage of research purpose. Our types of internet resources utilized by postgraduate students: for academic database, online journals and ebooks, instructional videos and tutorials. Then I said, as technology used in research grows, understanding the factors influencing the utilization of internet resources become crucial. The study focuses on postgraduate business education students' utilization of internet resources for research in Southwest Nigeria University. The research addresses a critical gap in understanding the utilization pattern of internet resources among these students. It employs factors such as availability, accessibility, and passive usefulness. Challenges faced by students include navigating the vast amount of available information, discerning credible sources from unreliable ones, and thirdly, perceiving the usefulness of these resources. These factors significantly influence students' attitude and intentions towards adopting and utilizing internet resources for their research. The study aims to provide insight into dynamic shaping of acceptance of the internet resources by business education students in Southwestern Nigeria. The main purpose is the study investigates utilization of internet resources for research among postgraduate students in universities of Nigeria. 3 specific research objectives were set. 3 specific research questions were raised and answered. The study adopts a theoretical framework grounded in the following: Unified Theory of Acceptance and Use of Technology, UTWA 2003, which talks about the social influence, expectancy, and also. Secondly, Technology Acceptance Model, which talks about the passive usefulness and passive ease of use of internet resources, provided by Davis in 1989. The significance of this study is it should be significant to the students, lecturers, government, policymakers, and as a source of literature for further studies. The study investigates the utilization of internet resources for research in universities in Southwestern Nigeria. It was carried out at federal-owned university, which is UNILAG here. Why is it carried out here? Because UNILAG accommodates students from various universities in Nigeria. After their first degree, a lot of students want to come to UNILAG to upgrade their certificates. They want to be part of the alumni. So with that, they are bringing in the knowledge from their university. By the time they get here, they make their mindset, what they are bringing in, like, okay, maybe UNILAG is just a university for the rich, for the high class of people that they don't reach, they don't study in UNILAG. But when they get here, they see that University of Lagos provide a lot of things, a lot of amenities for students to be able to read and do a lot of research. So with that, I don't need to go to other universities. I use those students, those postgraduate students, with the knowledge they got from their universities, I use them as my main focus. Thank you. So it was carried out here and based on business education postgraduate students in the University of Lagos here. So research methodology. The study employs a descriptive survey research design to gather information from and describe the pattern of characteristics of utilization of internet resources for research among postgraduate students. 17 postgraduate students were used in that's the respondents, University of Lagos, both the master's and PhD students, 17 of them in University of Lagos here. Then the instrument Okay, sorry. Okay. The instrument validated was established by the expert, and its reliability was determined using cover alpha method. Data collection was facilitated by research assistants and online platform. I use Google Form too, because some students, postgraduate students, they don't come to school regularly. Maybe just doing faculty or departmental seminars. So if you want to get information from them, you also need to use Google Form to gather information from them. Then discussion of the findings. One, the study revealed that internet resources like Mendel's ResearchGate, Google Book, Turnitin, and Google Scholar are widely available and accessible to business education, postgraduate business education students in Nigerian university. Then secondly, the perceived usefulness of internet resources was rated positively, which an average mean score indicating students find them valuable for research. Specific benefits cited including enhancing research collaboration, increasing citation, visibility, boosting motivation, and demonstrating the positive impact of internet resources on attitude, motivation, and research capabilities of postgraduate business students in the University of Lagos. Then, however, some challenges to optimal utilization were noted, such as infrastructure issue like poor power supply. We know that is rampant in Nigeria, but University of Lagos is still managing that. And high internet costs. You know, a lot of universities need to subscribe to premium subscription because a lot of students cannot afford the premium subscription. So it makes them not to utilize it like that. But University of Lagos, according to my research, I found out that they are subscribing to the premium. So a lot of postgraduate students are making use of the internet. Then I said, I put in advantages of using internet resources for research, which brings out collaborative research opportunities, cost-effective research work, and whatever. Challenges faced, I've said that. Then impact of internet resources on the quality of postgraduate research. You know, we all know that the impact of good internet resources, we give a student a positive research work, effective research work. The student will be able to source for a lot of information on internet and be able to get the good result. So I said strategies for enhancing the utilization of internet resources, which are what? Training and education. We need to train some postgraduate students too. From my research, I found that some postgraduate students coming from other universities, they don't really have that skill, like the University of Lagos being students. So we need to train them on how to use all this internet and how to source for information on internet. Then improve infrastructure, collaborative efforts. Then I said recommendation for universities and postgraduate students. One, enhance internet infrastructure. The universities should invest in robust internet connectivity and provide reliable high-speed access across campus to support research needs, especially in the library, and maybe in the classrooms. They need to provide internet for the students to be able to use it. Then I said develop digital literacy. Then offering others under developing digital literacy offers training programs to equip postgraduate students with the skills to effectively search, evaluate, and utilize online resources for research. Then the future of internet resources in postgraduate research in Nigeria. I said, as technology continues to evolve, the role of internet resources in postgraduate research in Nigeria is supposed to become even more integral. Innovative digital tools and widespread internet access will unlock new possibilities for collaboration, data analysis, and knowledge sharing among researchers. Then conclusion on internet resources in postgraduate business research in Nigeria. Internet resources are platforms that build and promote academic relationships among postgraduate students to discuss, collaborate, assess academic materials such as journals, publications, theses, and articles. The study established that internet resources are available, accessible by postgraduate students. This study concluded that postgraduate business education students have been using internet resources to make research easier, credible, and still want to use it for more research. Thank you.
Let's grab our hands together for her. Thank you very much, Dr. Balkis, for reminding us on the importance of ease of use when it comes to the use of internet resources. I am even more interested because with the advent of, artificial intelligence, the digital divide that comes up as a result of not making use of those resources is becoming wider. We hope that someday we'll have time to have that conversation. So we've had 4 presentations. The first speaker shared her experiences about project-based learning, and then entrepreneurial teaching by Idolo, knowledge economy by Alabi Olushola, and then utilization of internet resources by Dr. Balkis. So it's time for reflection. What do we have with us? Do we all have? Okay, you are collecting it back. Oh, excellent. That's so far. Speed of light. So who's going to remind us of the speaker who used this? Dr. Olushola, yes. Sir? Olushola Alabi. Dr. Olushola Alabi was the one who gave us it. We need a volunteer to read out the reflection of the audience, reflection of the audience on his presentation for him. Okay, thank you, Abi. So you're going to read the reflection. If there's a question, you drop it here. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yeah. From the first one I have here, real-time entrepreneurs are not made in the classroom. Application matters. Empathy as and entrepreneurs. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. No, you keep it. Only questions come to the question back. Okay. Entrepreneurs are not made in the classroom alone. Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay, I'm not good. Yeah. Practical education with teamwork. I think this is not I think you said teamwork. Teamwork is part of one. Education with teamwork. Yes. The speaker spoke about teamwork. So, please learning to speak. Entrepreneurial teaching is quite innovative in this time. In this, okay, this line has feedback been gotten from the students? Thank you. Thank you. This is question. Yeah, question mark there. Set up course, question mark. Lots of staff needed to teach entrepreneurship to all students. Another question mark. Lots of staff. Entrepreneurs is not about skill development, but a total mindset toward innovation, creativity, and problem solving. Correct. Entrepreneur is about people management. Yeah, correct. All disciplines coming into entrepreneurship programs. This caught my attention. Beautiful initiative. Teamwork to collaborate is essential in entrepreneurial teachings. Yeah. What are the skills that can be learned through entrepreneurial center? I think the question. Thank you. Start, manage, and expand. Start, manage, expand. So found. Yeah. Found. University of Lagos is stepping up its entrepreneurship. Can you discuss your findings, please? Thank you. Oh, yeah. And the last one. Do that. Yeah. We might give you this. Thank you. Please let's clap for Abim. Thank you, Abim, for saving the day. Abim came from place, from the University of the. Yeah. From Lagos State University. Sorry.
Last.
Traffic lady.
All right.
This one, for this question, I'm not going to say no chorus answer. I'm going to call you. Tell me the name of the last presenter. Dr. Alabi, can you help me? Thank you. Let's jam our hands together for her.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so this is, have you ever thought of inter-university, something borrowing of internet resources? That's a question. And then this says the application of internet resources for research enhances postgraduate education. Thumbs up for that. And that's true. Then this says internet encourage academic collaboration for the students. A good use of internet resources will give students a good research work and ability. Yeah. Then it goes on, I can't read that. Okay, it says it's easy to use electronic resources when access to it is made seamless.
Yes.
Availability of internet resources is key for research.
Yes.
Then it says, please revisit your title. I think you should look at use of electronic resources and not internet resources.
That's feedback.
Internet access, visibility or whatever for research purpose, highly limited. Internet is a benefit, it's beneficial for researchers. Payment or premium. I didn't really get that. Did we get what? Okay, let me read this again. It says internet access, visibility for research purpose, highly limited. Internet is beneficial for researchers. Payment or premium. Then this one says need to train students on the use of internet for optimal performance. Then the last one. In your view, this is a question. How important is the movement of open research for Nigeria? What can Nigeria do to get access to international information for students?
That's all.
This is a question.
Thank you. Let's clap for Dr. Alabi. Thank you. So you have gifts from me. A lot of it. Findings. You know, we are together in this. I'll discuss findings. I will give you every other question. And then here you are asked in this system of learning, how you are working with. There's a rule. This is an innovative class. I'll tell you the rule to answering the questions. How many minutes do we give them to answer the questions? So this is for you. Feedback, I give it back to you. Okay, let me put you on quiet. Okay, let's check what's happening on Zoom. Can you help us? We check the other side. Okay. We don't have a presenter on Zoom, but check the chat. We have inter-university sharing of internet resources. I'm interested in knowing about that because it's going to save cost and resources. So,
And do you think that's so?
yes, it is. I think it is. So, no, this question that comes on. Question. No, I'm not giving back the question. The panelists will answer the question. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, sir. Thank you. So we'll start with them. We're giving them, they're going to, you know, in entrepreneurship, there's something we call pitching. There's something we call elevator pitching. We have just 10 or 15 minutes to leave here. We've given them their questions. They are going to use those questions to convince us to agree with them on the research and their practices they've shared with us. So you have only 2 minutes. So after the 2 minutes, do you have a pen? Does everybody have a pen? All right, so please, I want you to hit your table lightly. Lightly. So once you are hearing that, it means we're telling you that you're okay. Times up. There are 4, right? So 2 minutes times 4. I have my reason for not adding 1 minute. Thank you. So we'll start with you. Okay. It's good you recap your question so that we know what you're talking about.
Well, thank you so much for the feedback and the comment. I am a classroom teacher, like I said earlier. And the question says that, is this system of learning also practicable among other teachers in your institution? As I said earlier, it's quite tasking to do project-based learning for my classroom, especially my subject. And yes, student-centered learning is something I'm advocating and I'm preaching to all the teachers. Because these days, learners complain, oh, it's boring, take active learning. And if you look at the time constraints and the resources, it's really, really so enormous. If you are not passionate or intentional enough, it will not be easy for you to learn a project for the students. But for the science department, I've always encouraged them because their own department, it's easier to do the project a lot compared to art and humanities, which my own department. So in my department, which I stand in, especially with my HOD is in my own department, the commercial department, and she has been a wonderful, fantastic person. So once I have ideas and I give it to her, she encouraged me to say, oh yes, let us do it. But for other teachers in the other departments, it has always been, But yes, the last training I had with them, which I discussed, or let's say I coached them on student-centered learning, and I introduced project-based learning. So the feedback I got was that they are interested in taking that to their classroom, in ensuring that they also engage students in project-based learning. It's not only that, I also give my learners books to read. That said, readers are leaders. They don't read leadership books. They like reading comics and all those things. The first time I introduced Atomic Habits to my learners, for 3 weeks, I keep you, in fact, in my dream, I'm seeing them because they were complaining that why would I read this? But now it has become a norm for every student in the high school. Once they come into my classroom, they know that the first book you read is Atomic Habits, Mindsets, so that you have a shift in mindset when coming to this classroom, that this is what you have. Because I can say every child will learn academics anyway, but there are skills you cannot learn in the classroom. So as a teacher, I'm just concerned about when they get out there, they are able to match with their peers. They are able to match with their peers.
Thank you so much. So peer mentoring is a key aspect of teachers' professional development, whatever level we think it is. Now, I was telling, now I have a research book with, you know, the new thing about AI, technology, ethics, and all these things. And there's a young guy, just a fresh graduate, who is deep into it. And then he says he has a training session. I said, oh, I'm going to be there. He said, why? How? I said, you know what? As a doctor, if I refuse to connect with my mentors that I think position-wise, they are down there, one will get missing when it comes to innovation. So I said, I'm going to attend. It's an online class. I can drop out, but then I know I will start. And then as it gets interesting, I know I'll get something out of it. Mentorship, we cannot overemphasize the role of mentorship in supporting teachers, in understanding and adopting practices like this. And so I think part of it is sometimes you have to hold some people's hand and
Yes.
go all the way there. Thank you very much. So Dr. Elohot, what do you have? I have only one here. So when you're done,
Okay, I have 3 questions here, and I'll try to
you
take
have 3
them.
minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
How important is learning how to assess finance in UNILAG teaching? Well, University of Lagos, if they employ you to teach, you'll be paid your salary to teach. But in the Entrepreneurship Center, what we do is to train you to be able to set up a business of your own while you are still working in the university. So that at the time you're retiring, you're not retiring to retire to something else, but you're retiring to make a business of to run your business and expand it. And you'll be comfortable at the period of retirement. So we don't finance teaching. But if you have a business and you need finance, through the Entrepreneurship Center, once you can pitch successfully your business plan, business model, and we understand what you're doing, you can get finance from the Bank of Industry. But it's tailored mostly to the students. But I think they are focusing on teachers because recently we did a skill acquisition for non-academic staff of the university, for them to be able to set up businesses of their own. So through the SMIDAN, they can also get funds from that, through that means. We're still working on that. But for giving you finance for just teaching, I'm sorry, we don't do that. Then set up costs. Lots of staff needed to teach entrepreneurship to us. Then that's true. In more universities, if you ask for numbers of trained entrepreneurship teachers, they are very few. What we have is teachers who are business admin or business education teaching students. So anybody can learn entrepreneurship, and that's what the center is focusing on. With the establishment of these new courses, the center is also trying to, create a building of its own where you can even have access to learning, education, where you get a certificate in entrepreneurship, a degree certificate, along with your other degree certificate that can now make you an expert in entrepreneurship. Yes, it is costly, but if you are trained and you have a certificate from UNILAG, definitely you can teach entrepreneurship anywhere in any university once there's vacancy. Then entrepreneurship teaching is quite innovative in this line, as feedback be gotten from the student. Well, this is a case study. What we do is, if we train the mentors from other universities, we need to also go back to that university to see if they've implemented what we have done. This training took place in February. We are yet to go back. But from that training, we got feedback. Many of them had businesses they wanted to set up on their own. But after the training, they got the experience, the knowledge to be able to set up their own business, apart from solving their institution problem, which is to develop their entrepreneurship center. The center is on, but they just needed the experience on how to go about entrepreneurship and not just teach only just skill acquisition program. So we got a good feedback from the training, but we still need to go back, and that they have not invited us. Once they do that, then we'll get the full feedback, and this research will be completed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the last question for my session was, okay, on feedback, there's a very senior member of staff of the university where we had this course in this room.
Yes.
Please,
I wanted to go with that.
please let's clap for her.
Yes.
So if you look closely, you would have seen her in the picture. And the feedback, how did we get our feedback? Some of the things we got as feedback was that, Ma, can I give it to you?
Yes, let us see it. Yes.
The changes that came as a result of the training. Thank you. Thank you for honoring. Thank you, Ma. Good evening, class. Good evening. Through weekend, we saw, okay, actually, and the best is just to leave. Principal officer ran this last year. But because of the dictionary leadership qualities that we have in this. Just the university today, think that university has been serving for more than 10 years because the man is so energetic and he wants everything to happen within his own hand. So he was one that first stage university and say what they're doing. Later he went up, came back and asked us to choose Nigerian of us as a team. And today we are now the professor of social and technology. Came here, did the training. It was a very tense training. It's season. These are teachers. But when we go back to schools, before we started the training, normal, the usual thinking is that entrepreneurship is for bill making, soap making, and all the rest. But when we got that, by the time they change this, the real title, the mind change mindset, they really change our mindset. I think this is what entrepreneurship really is. So after reading, been there to be able to teach. I got there, trying to first of all sit down to let him know that what because he enjoy a lot of money, it's not just for free. But what you have given to us is something that goes beyond being a lecturer in the university. For me, that helps me, and for a few of us, that all of us are going there. But unfortunately, or let me say for now, we are yet to get the center. Just have a building that we are managing as an entrepreneurship center. But what we do is he has a passion for family, agric. So he sets up a self-farm, agric service. Whereby we have cows, we have milk, we have this dairy, we have this what is fishery and all that. So we at the entrepreneurship center now chose like 10 students of course, about 90 or 8. We have 9 courses that we are running now. 9 faculties that we are running. So we decided them, we talked to them, let them know what entrepreneurship is, and we took them to that farm. In fact, to get to that farm, all of them just smarted. I want snaring, I want this, I want that. And what our plan is that as time goes on, we are going to bring expertise to this family institute. Whichever area that you want to allow yourself to do, whether it's snaring, go there, they will teach you whatever that's being taught on that snaring. And at the end of the day, we are going to take certificates. Even it's fishing, you understand? So it's going to be an additional, an added value to whether you are for nursing, you are for you are just for education or whatever. Apart from the investment case, we are going to have another certificates. That's number one. Then number two, part of our program or part of our advice, like this student that came for accounting. Now we have some of them now. Introduce them to this ICANN. Some of them for this year one, they've passed first stage. So that means before they finish their 400 or 500 level forever, they have like the general ICANN whatever. You understand? So these are the things. Then we now look at the environment that we said just identify the problem and provide solutions to that problem. Now this use of buzzword, you understand? Now we have called it smart job. Whereby we just make something like net and put it there. Everybody that is just going, instead of throwing it away, throwing it slightly around. What training, our cleaners, whatever, they will just have the level of use it for maybe to sell in an auction. But today, when I was just going down, I saw another sign. So I snapped it. I snapped it as I thought when you go there, I know you want to. So I snapped that I'm taking it. So at least so far so good. You have tried that.
So the mindset change program is about a seed. You know, you don't just say, oh, this is the way to do it, this is the way to do it. But we just create that sense of connection. I mean, your classroom must begin to speak to the problems in the community because that's where real value comes from. Now, the findings of our study, which somebody asked,
She has said one of the barriers to entrepreneurial teaching among lecturers, which can also be an enabler, is leadership. One of the reasons why we were able to connect with them from University of Lagos is because their university leader, the vice chancellor, first visited and gave his approval. And that was why it became easy for them to spread their tentacles across all departments. About 10 of them came, am I right? And they were selected from different departments from that university. So, that cannot be possible if you don't have a VC or president who has an entrepreneurial mindset. And then most of the time, it's about making them to see. Then the other barrier which I see is that entrepreneurship education is not cheap. However, neglecting entrepreneurship education is more expensive. It's more expensive. That is because when you think of the outcomes of leaving our youths to, go around the streets without jobs, about job creations now. When you have somebody who's an entrepreneur as your employee, it's a different ball game entirely. So it's not about having entrepreneurship as a business course. Every course, history, Yoruba, French, there's an entrepreneurial aspect of that course. And we should begin to think about, because yesterday I was in one room and I saw lots of big projects bound in hard copy plaques. We have them all over the world. And then what is the use? We use our time to prepare those projects and we don't make use of them to solve the problems in our community. So thank you so much for granting us audience. And the last question, you know I'm the chairman. Okay. I have taken out of your time. So you have 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for this great comment. Please give me more knowledge about it, because I think this is my second conference. During my first conference, I met her and she introduced me today. So I'm still new, Thank you. So this question says, in your view, how important is the move to open research for Nigeria? Is it for Nigerians or for Nigeria? No, person. That's okay. I think, to me, it is highly important to open research centers. And I can only talk about where I know. In University of Lagos, we have research centers. University of Lagos have research centers for us, unless maybe you don't want to make use of it. There are research centers in the library, research rooms in the library. A research center is along that Julius Berger Road there for anybody. So far you're a student of University of Lagos, even from other universities, they come in to make their findings, to do their research there. And it is very important, if there is a research center, it will make you to know a lot of things, to think wider, to get more information about other fields, not only your field. And as an educator, you need to know more about other fields. Not only, if you may not have the in-depth knowledge of that field, but you must be able to say 1 or 2 things about that field. You don't say because you are a business educator and you cannot say 1 or 2 things about science or about courses in arts. But with research, you'll be able to know all this. Then the second thing is 2-in-1 question. He said, what can Nigeria do to get access to international information for students? It's by giving us adequate internet infrastructures, by creating awareness. I'm telling you that in this university, in this same University of Lagos, some students don't know that University of Lagos subscribes to premium subscription, premium subscription. They don't know that they can access internet anywhere. As we are here, you can, if you check your phone, you will see Wi-Fi, you can connect to internet at anywhere. But some students don't know because we are not aware. So I believe awareness is a key. that will make students to know that you have access to this. It's free. You can utilize it. It is unlimited. With premium subscription, it's unlimited. And with this, if the university or the government provide more infrastructure by funding internet, if the government fund internet, NGOs, communities, we can do that. The community leaders in the community, they can provide internet for the community. The government can also assist. With this, you'll be able to access any information at a pace. Because we are in the era of technology. You don't need to come and sit in the four corner of a classroom before you receive knowledge. You can receive knowledge at a go. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There is one again. He said, have you ever thought of inter-university borrowing of internet resources? I have never thought of it. I will not lie. I was even asking my doctor here that, is it possible? But as a researcher, it's possible. It's possible. That means Lagos State University, LASU, can borrow from us because we have the facility that they do. We lay on federal government allocations. Have you?
Yes.
It's federal government funds federal universities. From my research, because I did the research on internet resources on postgraduate students, business education postgraduate students in Southwest universities. And I traveled wide. It's only 4 universities that offer business education at postgraduate level in Southwest. And University of Lagos is the only federal university. The other 3 are state-owned. And I'll find out that university, what we are benefiting here, they are not benefiting it there, especially power supply. I found that in the other university, I went to Ekiti State University, Traditional University of Education, Olavisi Onabanjo University of Education. They want to find air conditioning in lecturers' offices. It's a little bit tactic. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They were just living on generator. Noise everywhere. But the University of Lagos, you can't find such. So maybe because University of Lagos is a federal-owned university. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Balkis. I want to sincerely appreciate all the panel members from Ms. Miriam, Ms. Elahor, Ms. Balkis, Mr. Alabi. Thank you for sharing out of your knowledge. So this is our Teaching by Design panel, and I'd like to let you know that hopefully we'll be here again next year. We want you to go for 1 year, go get good practices in your teaching, and come and share the knowledge here. It's about research, it's about practice, and about how our theories connect to what we do and do with our students. Thank you very much for coming. Yes, next year. Yes. On the group, we'll be sharing opportunities for publications, right? So as soon as we get it, we're going to put it on the group so that we can take the conversation forward from there. Please don't go away from the community of practice we are trying to build. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.